Welcome again to the Relationship Refinery. I'm Asia, here to help you redefine as well as refine the way that you view healthy relationships. During this series, we've been going through 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 7. We are currently on 1 Corinthians 13, 6, where we are addressing the ways that you can better love in your romantic relationships as well as your parent-child relationships. I really hope that you've been finding this series helpful, and if you have, make sure that you leave a comment in the comment section, as well as send it to a friend so that they can also find it helpful. And as usual, before we get started, make sure that you hit the subscribe button so that you'll be notified every time that I post a video, because there is more to come. Let's take a look at what 1 Corinthians 13, 6 says. It says, "Love does not delight in evil, but it always rejoices in the truth." You may not consider yourself an evil person. And evil people, I think we all, when we say evil person, we probably have a person that comes to mind who does more harm than good. So you may not be an evil person, but you may be a kind person who does evil things sometimes. We are human. Sometimes we let our emotions get the best of us. Sometimes we yell at our kids or cuss at our kids or hit them a little harder than we should. And I'm not talking about abuse. I'm not talking about abuse. It's two different things. Disciplining them versus abuse. Different conversation for another day. So you might not consider yourself evil, but there may have been some times that you were evil towards your children. If we look at the definition of evil, according to the Oxford Dictionary, it says that it's profoundly immoral and wicked. You may not feel like you're an immoral person or a wicked person. Those may not be words to describe you. You may have moments. But if we take a look at some of the synonyms of evil, you may, like I said, not be an evil person. You may be a bad person or have bad moments. Not a bad person. You may have bad moments. Hopefully not dangerous moments, but dangerous is another word. Detrimental moments, hurtful moments, injurious moments, wicked moments, mischievous moments, prejudicial moments, harmful moments, or damaging moments. Because once again, we allow our emotions to take the best of us sometimes. In parenting, even though I'm not a parent, I know parenting is not an easy job. It can be very difficult at times. But as a parent, you should always be aspiring to be like God, because God is the ultimate father. And God is love, as we know. John 3:16 says that God is love. And anything that is not like God is not love. And since God is pure and he is good, there's no wickedness in him. That means that anything that is not of God is indeed wicked, is indeed bad, is indeed sinful, so on and so forth. So this is what the Bible is saying, that love is patient, kind, not envious, not boastful, not prideful, doesn't keep record of wrong, all of those things. That means that when you are doing those things, you are being evil. So when you're impatient with your child, you're being evil. Maybe not in the way that you would think of as evil as murder, evil as rape, and things like that. But like I said, when you're being impatient, when you're keeping record of wrong, when you're allowing the anger to get the best of you, when you're being unkind, you're using unkind words, that means that you're not being love, which means you are being evil. Like I said, you might not be an evil person, but you may have moments of, and if you don't want to use the word evil, that's fine. I'm just using it because that's the word we're focusing on today. But those might be just bad moments. But I'm here to help you to acknowledge them and not get defensive and, oh, but I did that because, no. Let's not get defensive. You are in charge of your own emotions. You are in charge of your behavior. You cannot control what your children do. You can only lead them to the water, but you can't force them to drink. And vice versa. Your children cannot make you do anything. My children make me yell at them. My children make me cuss at them. No, that's a choice that you make. That's not the choice that your children make. Your children make the decision to misbehave, but the way that you react to it is on you. It's not on your child. Some ways that you could combat this evilness is, if you haven't already watched the rest of this series, is you can start there, where I'm also just bringing to light some of the other ways that you may be unkind and so on and so forth. But also is to, I just said, to not be defensive. Once you start there and you allow yourself to sit in the fact that, dang, sometimes I am mean to my children. Sometimes I take my stress out from work or from my relationships or from just life onto my children, and they don't deserve that. Once you acknowledge that, then that means that you can move forward from it. Going to therapy, I'm always going to recommend going to therapy. There are all kinds of parenting groups. And therapy is not to make you feel guilty, but, being in a parenting group will allow you to be around other parents who are like, yeah, no, I cussed my child out yesterday. I'm not proud of it. It's something I'm working on, but that's what you're here for. This group is to improve yourself, for y'all to improve one another, or for you to improve yourself, but for y'all to encourage one another. So I would strongly suggest you join a parenting group as well as using those I statements, taking a deep breath when you're feeling upset, going somewhere and just allowing yourself to calm down before you speak to your child, so that you're not speaking or doing things out of evilness or out of, angered feelings. Now let's talk about what it means to rejoice in the truth. There are several different types of truths, and forgive me because I don't remember what the different types of truths are called. One truth is like, the truth is that this shirt is like fact. This shirt is black. Okay. You and I both see this black. There's not really an argument that can be made that this shirt is pink or that this shirt is yellow or green or any other color, because it's very obviously black. Okay. Even if you are blind, or even if you are just listening to the video and not watching it, that doesn't change the fact that this shirt is black, right? However, if right now if I'm looking outside, the sky is blue. Okay, that's the truth. That's my truth. But if you are in a different country or a different state or something like that, depending on the weather, depending on the time of day, your truth and my truth may be two different things. My truth is that the sky is baby blue, no clouds, sunny. That doesn't mean that your truth of being in, let's just say, I don't know, Germany, and it's, I don't know that it would be nighttime. I don't know the time difference, but let's just pretend like it's nighttime. And the sky is more of like a deep blue with the little white specks of stars. That doesn't mean that your truth is wrong or that my truth is wrong. It's just that we have two different truths that are both true. So rejoicing in the truth means that you are being honest and you are talking about the things that are factual. You're talking about your truth, but you're also listening to the other person's truth. You're listening to your child's truth, because they're going to have a different perspective of you, just like if we were in two different countries looking at the sky at the same time. Y'all are going to both experience a very similar situation, but you're going to experience it differently because you're more mature, your brain is more developed, because you're looking at it from a parental lens, they're looking at it from a child lens. But that doesn't mean that your truth is more true than their truth. And then as you are rejoicing in the truth and you are speaking truth, speak it gently to your children. If you remember the first part of 1 Corinthians 13, it's talking about that you could do all these things. You could prophesy, you could speak in tongues, you can, just do everything. But if you're not doing it with love, you are just a noisy gong, a clanging cymbal. And you don't want to be that type of parent. You can tell your children the truth in love without being, I'm just blunt. That's just how I am. I was born blunt. I'm going to die blunt. Ask anybody. I'm just blunt at home and all these things. At work and everywhere else. You don't need to be that way with your children. You can speak to love with your children because they're not your employers or your employees or your coworkers or whoever else you may speak to bluntly. These are your children. And you can make or break their confidence depending on the things that you say and how you say them. But this world is an evil place, Asia, so I got to prepare them for it. You can prepare them for it in so many other ways, but you need to be the safety for them, okay? Because if you really see this world as evil and wicked, that means that they need a place where they can feel safe and secure, and that should be you, especially if they're young. You don't want them to feel like, dang, everywhere I go, it's evil and it's wicked and whatever, even at home. Because what is that doing for their growth? What is that doing for their self-esteem? What is that doing for, their physical body as well if they're constantly under a state of stress? I hope that this is shedding light to some of the ways that you are being evil, or that you're being mean, or the moments that are not positive as it relates to the relationship with your child. And hopefully you are practicing rejoicing in the truth, speaking the truth, using the I statements, speaking it with love. If you don't know how to word something in a friendly way, use ChatGPT. I want to say this to my child. How do I say it in a way that is encouraging, in a way that is still stern, that still gets my mood across, that still gets the seriousness across, but is more gentle? Use ChatGPT. Yeah, I promise you it'll help you. Once again, if you found this helpful, or you find this series helpful, if you have any questions or whatever, make sure you leave a comment in the comment section, as well as send it to a friend. Until next time.